Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. So today we're going to discuss about leadership in crisis. Great leaders create great teams.
So, what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to motivate, direct, and influence individual or a group to achieve a common objective or a vision. So, leadership, hindi lang siya yung parang boss or the one giving you instruction. Siyempre, it's also about guiding, inspiring, and helping a group of people who works toward a common goal. True leader doesn't just tell people kung anong kailangan nilang gawin. They also listen, encourage, and set an example to the group. Leadership is also about, syempre, taking responsibility, especially kapag difficult na yung situation. So, it's not about being perfect, it's about being willing to learn, support others, and make tough decisions when needed. Okay, next, we're gonna talk about the challenges leaders face, especially during difficult time or the crisis. So, being a leader isn't just about giving instruction. It's about making tough decisions, especially when the pressure is high. So, here, it states that leaders frequently encounter a wide range of issues that put their skill and decision-making abilities to the test. So, one of the biggest challenge is, of course, conflict within the team. Sometimes, team members have different opinions or personality na nagka-clash. So, kapag nangyari yon, it's the leader's job to manage the conflict and find a way to keep everyone working. So, another challenge is in a crisis, things change fast. So, yung mga leaders, need nila gumawa ng quick decisions even when they don't have all the information. This can be really stressful, but it's important to stay calm and think clearly. Also, leaders have to deal with changes in the market, new technology, or even some unexpected problems like natural disaster and emergencies. So, these things can always be predicted. So, leaders need to be ready to adjust their plans. In short, leaders face pressure in many directions sa mga tao, yung time and some unexpected situation. They need to be strong and smart in how they respond to the problem or into the crisis. Okay, next, we're gonna talk about the challenges leaders face, especially during difficult time or the crisis. So, being a leader isn't just about giving instruction. It's about making tough decisions, especially when the pressure is high. So, here, it states that leaders frequently encounter a wide range of issues that put their skill and decision-making abilities to the test. So, one of the biggest challenge is, of course, conflict within the team. Sometimes, team members have different opinions or personality na nagka-clash. So, kapag nangyari yon, it's the leader's job to manage the conflict and find a way to keep everyone working. So, another challenge is in a crisis, things change fast. So, yung mga leaders, need nila gumawa ng quick decisions even when they don't have all the information. This can be really stressful, but it's important to stay calm and think clearly. Also, leaders have to deal with changes in the market, new technology, or even some unexpected problems like natural disaster and emergencies. So, these things can always be predicted. So, leaders need to be ready to adjust their plans. In short, leaders face pressure in many directions sa mga tao, yung time and some unexpected situation. They need to be strong and smart in how they respond to the problem or into the crisis.
Now let's talk about what is crisis in management. A management crisis occurs when a situation threatens the company's stability, whether it is internal or external. So, nagkakaroon ng management crisis kapag ang health or ang stability na ng isang organization or ng company ang nakataya. Whether it is internal or external. Internal, ito yung mga fraud and HR issues, something like that. At kapag external naman, ito yung mga product failure, disaster. Yun ang kaibahan ng internal and external. Ngayon naman sa characteristics of crisis. Una dyan, comes suddenly or unexpectedly. So may mga crisis na dumadating suddenly or unexpectedly. Dito nasusubok yung critical thinking ng isang manager or ng isang organization sa kung paano nila susolusyonan yung crisis na nangyayari. Kasi nga dumating siya unexpectedly sa kung paano nila to haharapin. Pangalawa, involves high stakes. So sa isang crisis, merong mga meaning may mga high risk na tinatawag. O maaring ito yung sinasabi nga na dito nakataya yung reputation ng company or ng isang organization. Pangatlo, requires urgent decision. So may mga crisis na kailangan ng mga urgent decision tulad sa isang kumpanya kapag may fraud. Ito kailangan agad ng agarang pagdidesisyon, agarang solusyon, agarang kilos para maagapan yung nangyayaring crisis na yon. So pang-apat, create stress, confusion and uncertainty. So may mga crisis nga na dumadating na talagang nagdudulot sa iyo ng stress, confusion sa kung paano mo siya harapin, kung paano mo susolusyonan, kung paano mo paplanuhin para maresolbahan yung crisis na yon. Sabi nga sa panglima, puts reputation and operation at risk. No? Na kung paano mo siya susolusyonan nga. Kasi nga, lalo na kapag nakataya dito yung reputasyon ng isang kumpanya or ng isang organization. Yun lang po.
Next, I will be discussing about the decision making under pressure. So, decision making under pressure in crisis leadership refers to the process of evaluating options and making choices quickly. So, whether in a business, government, or everyday leadership, leaders should respond in a crisis can define outcomes, reputation, and even lives. So, making decision under a crisis is challenging because of these four main reasons. First, we have time pressure. There's often very little time to think or to consult what is the solution to the problem. Next is uncertainty. Information may be incomplete or constantly changing. Siyempre may pagbabago pa rin na hindi natin may iwasan. Next is the high stake. One wrong decision could result in a serious consequences. Next is the stress and emotion. Fear, panic, and responsibility can cloud judgment. Next, we have what happens to a leadership mind in a psychological impact. So, when under pressure, our brains tend to go into a survival mode. So, this can lead to a tunnel vision, which focusing only to the threat, not to full picture, impulsiveness, acting before thinking, overload, being paralyzed by too much data. Leaders need to override these responses by staying calm, thinking clearly, and trusting in their preparation team. So, we have key skills for decision making under pressure. So, effective crisis leaders develop a certain skills and habit that this include. So, first we have the critical thinking, which assess information and separating facts from fear. Next is decisiveness, taking action even when things are uncertain. Next is emotional control, so staying calm and focused. Next is the communication, of course, clearly sharing decision and next step. Last is the adaptability, being ready to shift direction if needed. These skills don't come overnight, of course. They're built through experience, training, and reflection. So, crisis leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about having the mindset to act even when situation is uncertain. So, decision making under pressure is one of the most important and defining traits of strong leadership. So, let us remind, in a crisis, doing nothing is often worse than doing something imperfectly but decisively.
This is our case studies in leadership during crisis. The Toyota Accelerator pedal crisis in 2009 and 2010. Reports emerged of unintended acceleration in Toyota vehicles, leading to accidents and deaths. Over 9 million vehicles were recalled globally. Toyota was accused of delaying action and failing to communicate. So, dahil sa pagkakaroon ng unintended acceleration o kusang pagbilis ng takbo ng mga sasakyan ng Toyota na nagdudulot ng mga aksidente or pagkamatay, over 9 million na sasakyan ang na-recall sa buong mundo. Inakusahan din ang Toyota sa pagka-delay sa aksyon at kakulangan sa communication tungkol sa problema. This is their leadership response during crisis. So, Toyota initially slow to respond, which worsened the situation. Dahil nga sa mabagal nilang pagresponde sa simula pa lang, kaya lalong lumala ang situation. Later gave a tearful public apologies and testified before the US Congress. Later on, nag-public apology sila at nag-testify sa US Congress and took a personal responsibility and initiated a massive overhaul in quality control and customer feedback loops, which is tinanggap nila ang mga responsibility at nagsimula ng major change sa quality control at customer feedback system. Also, they invested in rebuilding internal culture and revamped safety system. Nag-invest din sila sa pag-rebuild ng company culture at pag-revamp ng safety system. So, this is the outcome of Toyota's action. Though the reputation took a hit but recovered over time due to sincere leadership and systematic reform. So, dahil nga sa nasira ang reputasyon ng Toyota nung una, pero unti-unti nila itong na-recover dahil din sa kanilang sincere leadership at systematic reforms. So, Toyota remains as one of the most trusted car brands globally today. So, hanggang ngayon naman, isa pa rin ang Toyota sa pinagkakatiwalaang car brand sa buong mundo.
Okay, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, classmates. Good afternoon, everyone. So today I'm going to discuss about the resilience, developing resilience as a leader. Sabi dito, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. You can't build a resilient teams without resilient leaders. We often think of resilient people as bold, unflappable, being not easily impacted by stress, failure, or setbacks. Sabi dito, hindi mo maitatag or maitatatag yung matibay na team kung wala kang matibay na leader. Kasi madalas nating iniisip yung mga matatag na tao ay yung matatapang at hindi basta-basta naapektuhan ng stress, kabiguan, o yung mga pagsubok. Pero yung pagiging matatag or yung resilience ay hindi lang basta kakayahang tiisin yung mga hirap. Oo, bahagi ng pagiging matatag ang kakayahang manatiling matibay sa gitna ng mga matinding pressure at stress. Pero yun yung bahagi. Yung report na ito ay galing kay Brent Gleason in 2021. Resilience in leadership and how to lead and win despite change and obstacles. Ayun. So, meron tayong dalawa, di ba, na tinutukoy dito, yung resilient teams and resilient leaders. Sabi dito, resilient teams or resilient organizations have sound leadership at all levels and strong cultures founded on trust, accountability, and agility. Sabi dito, ang mga matatag na organisasyon ay may mahusay na pamumuno sa lahat ng antas. Mula sa um, matibay na kultura na nakasandig sa tiwala, pananagutan at kakayahan nating umangkop. Yung mga team na ito ay may mataas na antas sa pakikilahok at dedikasyon. May bukas na pag-iisip or yung sinasabi nating open-minded sa pagbabago at mataas at mas matagumpay sa pagharap ng hamon kumpara sa ibang organizations. Okay? Sa dito naman, sa resilient leaders, resilience provides the ability to recover quickly from change, hardship, or misfortune. It is the product of broad perspective you can bolster with a supportive network of professional and professional personal relationships and use it to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Sabi naman dito, yung resilient leaders, ang resilience or yung katagang nagbibigay ng kakayahang mabilis na makabangon mula sa pagbabago, kahirapan o masamang karanasan. Ito yung bunga ng malawak na pananaw sa buhay. Sabi dito, kaya gawing mahalagang bahagi yung resilience ng inyong tagumpay bilang isang leader. Mula sa pagtupad mo sa mga sariling layunin, sa pagpapahalaga ng iyong kalusugan o yung kapakanan, hanggang sa pagiging gabay mo sa iba sa panahon ng pagbabago, stress, at kawalan ng katiyakan. So ito naman yung resilient leaders tends to. First, we have to maintain emotional equilibrium and their composure under stress. Manatiling kalmado at may emotional balance kahit sa ilalim ng matinding stress. Ibig sabihin, yung matatag na leader ay hindi agad natataranta or nawawala sa sarili kapag may crisis or mabigat na problema. Marunong silang magpigil ng kanilang damdamin at magdesisyon ng maayos kahit sa mahirap na sitwasyon. Next, when upset, do not agitate others by spreading tension and anxiety. Hindi ipinapasa ang kanilang inis or pagkabalisa sa iba. Hindi sila nagkakalat ng tensyon sa team. Kahit sila ay nahihirapan or nai-stress, hindi nila dinadama yung iba sa kanilang negatibong emosyon. Hindi sila nagsisigaw, nagkakalat ng takot, or nagpaparamdam ng pressure sa mga kasama nila. Third is tolerate ambiguity and uncertainty and adapt readily to new situations. Kayang tanggapin ang mga sitwasyong hindi malinaw or tiyak at mabilis na nakakaangkop sa mga pagbabago. Alam nilang hindi lahat ng bagay ay sigurado. Kaya kaya nilang magtrabaho kahit walang kompletong impormasyon at mabilis silang nakakaisip ng paraan kapag may biglang pagbabago. Number four is handle mistakes or setbacks with poise and grace. Marunong humarap sa mga pagkakamali o kabiguan ng may dignidad at kapanatagan, 'di ba? Kapag nagkakamali o nabigo, hindi sila agad nadudurog o nawawalan ng pag-asa. Tinatanaw nila ito bilang aral at hindi bilang katapusan. Hindi rin sila nahihiya or naninisi ng iba, 'di ba? Next, number five, put stressful experience into perspective and do not dwell on them. Marunong maglagay ng tamang perspektibo sa mga mahirap na karanasan at hindi natali sa mga ito. Hindi sila natitigil or nauubos sa kakaisip sa problema. Mas pinipili nilang nilang makita yung mga malawak na larawan at isipin kung paano sila makakausad. Hindi sila nagpapadala sa lungkot o pagkadismaya ng matagal. Number six, invest in their own physical and psychological health. Naglalaan ng oras at pagsisikap para sa kanilang physical at mental na kalusugan. Alam nilang para maging epektibong leader, kailangan alagaan din ang sarili. Sila yung nag-exercise, kumakain ng tama, nagpapahinga, at humahanap ng paraan upang mapanatili yung mental clarity at emotional balance. Number seven, communicate confidence and steadiness during difficult times. Nagpapakita ng kumpiyansa at katatagan lalo na sa panahon ng krisis. Kapag may krisis, sila yung nagsisilbing haligi ng lakas para sa iba. Kahit may problema, pinaparamdam nila na kakayanin ito. Hindi sila nagpapakita ng takot, kundi ng tiwala na may solusyon sa bawat hamon. And number 8 is have the support necessary to cope with emotional overload. May sapat na suporta mula sa iba, sarili, upang or para makayanan yung emotional na bigat ng sitwasyon. Hindi sila nag-iisa sa pagharap sa problema. Maaaring meron silang mga kaibigan, yung mentor, or yung pamilya na sumusuporta sa kanila. Marunong din silang humingi ng tulong at hindi ikinakahiya ang pagiging tao. Okay? So, in conclusion, gain new perspective on what true adversity really is. Resilience is like any muscle with a solid plan, consistent training, feedback, reflection, and course correction as needed. Mental fortitude continues to build yourself. And then in the steam, so get it done. So, that would be the report of last group. Thank you.